Right, what's up everybody, Intercom here. Today's video is going to be about my exhaust system, or my exhaust system over the different stages. Edge out a little bit so they can get there sooner and all that bollocks, but that was a fucking piss day. There was no way she'd have made that gap. Fucking hell! Got any marshmallows? This roundabout's quite infamous, and you'll also find out why quite soon. This is where I crashed. I slid across there, and the bike hit that curb. Luckily, I didn't. I stopped just next to it. I think it was quite an amusing day. Minus the damage to my bike, it was quite funny. But as I said in another video, I think I'll probably put that in front of this. It's just kind of like obviously going over all the rubbish. I know I was an idiot and all that sort of stuff. It's just the way it is. But anyway, back to the main point. This video is about exhausts, or my exhausts over the courses of vlogging, because it's changed a couple of times, and a lot of people ask me the question is what is your exhaust, or what is your exhaust system and stuff like that. So I thought it was kind of bloody hell, justified that I finally make a video about it and explaining it. So right off the bat, my end can itself, I've never changed my end can at all. It's always been the same end can, unless my system breaks and then I've had to put the standard system like now. So the whole bike is back on a standard system. But whenever I have, say, an aftermarket exhaust system or exhaust at all, it's always the same end can. And it's I think it's made by a company called Universal Power. It's supposedly road legal. It's got kind of the BSA or thingy markings on it, and it comes with a baffle out the box. Why are you? I'm really confused. I was expecting this to be all backed up. I mean, it kind of goes like that, but I'm really confused. I kind of initially thought I just run a red light. I was like, yeah, so it's always been that end can. I think that set me back about £130 on eBay. And it has got a little bit cheaper, I believe. Last time I kind of looked for a subscriber. It's a little bit less now. Oh, by the way, I have changed the camera position, so you'll probably pick up on that. It's been leaned back quite a substantial amount. And also, to kind of allow that to happen, it's had to be offset to the right. So I may or may not like it, and I may or may not keep it. But let me know what you think. If you think it's better. So yeah, obviously as a sand exhaust, the first time I ever changed the exhaust system, the end can itself, sorry, is a free bolt fixing. It's kind of like, that's how it comes. It's not a slip-on or a spring, so you can just fit it straight to your standard downpipe. So that's what I did the first time. It was just fitted straight onto my standard downpipe. And then a little while later, for some reason I believe there was a catalytic converter in the downpipe. There isn't. It's just exhaust packing. And it kind of looks like the stuff, the metal in the radiators of cars and bikes. It just wrapped up and it's just right in the centre, right literally underneath where, or very close to where the drain bolt is. So yeah, I kind of cut it open, took all that crap out, welded it back up, put it back on. And it got a bit louder, didn't really do anything else other than that in all fairness. That lasted quite a while. And then one day I was on my way home and the exhaust note changed massively and I noticed it right from the offset. But of course you don't expect what happened to happen, so you just kind of pull over and you think, oh fuck, what's gone on now? What's wrong with it? You kind of think, you always think something more catastrophic, like an engine failure or something like that, something really bad. But then as soon as I kind of stopped moving as much, I noticed, apologies again for the motorway footage, I know it's bland and crap, but it's the only time I can really record. So I know the scenery is a bit dull. But yeah, as I'm saying, if something like that's ever happened to you, it's a very distinctive noise. But basically the downpipe snapped at the head. I remember showing you the video actually, so you'll know anyway what I'm about to say. But of course it makes a very kind of weird, like water type noise. It's kind of like blob 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 blob. And that's how you kind of know. I just knew straight away. I was like, oh bollocks. So then I went back to the I borrowed a friend's standard system where he changed this to an aftermarket one. I borrowed his standard system and got that all sorted for a while. And then I managed to find myself a second-hand Danmoto downpipe from another friend. But of course they're like spring-ons or whatever you actually call them type of exhaust systems. So I had to weld one of the 3-bolt fixings from one of the old exhaust systems. I cut it off and weld it onto the Danmoto downpipe. And that was the second exhaust system. So that was an aftermarket downpipe with an aftermarket end cap. And that's the loudest my bike has ever been. That is ridiculously loud. Without the baffle, obviously I've never had the baffle in all fairness. For any length of time anyway. Yeah, it's just ridiculously bloody loud. Horrible. Now that I'm kind of on the standard system again for a while, I realise how stupidly loud it was. But I uploaded a picture a couple of days ago on Instagram of the bike flaming, and that's why when it flamed. Admittedly, it was quite cold out and all stuff like that, and it doesn't do it all the time, so it was a kind of more of a one-off thing, but it did do it with the Danmoto downpipe. It never seemed to like doing it with the normal system, or it never did. But as I said, it was just one of them things that just happened. I doubt it would ever happen again, even if I had the same system back on it. Especially where this bike's fuel injected, so as you know, it's a lot more difficult for a smaller bike to spit a flame when it's fuel injected, when it's all obviously, it runs itself kind of almost perfectly. But anyway, yeah, so that was the second system. And the third system's already been planned out. It's just a case of spending the money on it. Obviously, as you can expect, there's a million one things that I want to buy. And the exhaust, it's up there. It's up there on the list, but it's not something that direly needs to be changed, you know. I mean, I do kind of wish sometimes, I wish, yeah, I had a bit of noise again, so that people kind of know I'm coming and stuff like that. And in all fairness, this bike has lost 10 miles an hour from it, and that's not an exaggeration. I can put this bike flat against the pin, and it will very rarely go over 75 without tucking and all that stupid crap. But usually, it would sit at 80 so easily. I mean, I know I've just said 75, but I mean, it very rarely does do that. Most of the time, it just sits at 70 flat out, which is really, really annoying. Especially when you know it goes faster, and it's just 70 is such a struggle. It's just, I mean, it's a 125 at the end of the day. But yeah, so the third exhaust system will be the same end can again, and it'll be a Black Widow downpipe. Supposedly they're kind of good. They're not overly expensive. I think a downpipe for this bike's about £80–90, something like that. So it's not a massive sum of money. And yeah, hopefully. I mean, they are a lot quieter, I know that from the off-start. They are still a straight-through pipe, but it's not as loud. My friend's got the whole system, sorry. And his was never as loud as mine, but I mean, I'm comparing it to when I had the Dan Moto downpipe, so mine was just horrifically loud at that point. So yeah, it will be slightly quieter, which I'm kind of happy about. I mean, I think now I can respect there's a kind of degree of loudness that you want and don't want. I certainly don't want it to be as loud as it was before. That was just horrifically loud. It really, it was horrible. I kind of realised that looking back at it, I think, oh fucking hell, that was so loud. Like, why didn't anyone ever just shoot me? But yeah, of course, I mean, you just don't think about stuff like that at the time. But I mean, that's all the stages of exhaust. This is why I disagree with scooters. That's doing like 45 miles an hour. It may be a 50. If it's a 50, it's doing pretty well for itself. And I mean, it could be a 125. Again, they are a little bit slower than geared 125s, but you see what I mean? Things like that, kind of around that range. Realistically, it should only be a 125 geared bike that should be allowed on dual carriageways like this, like A roads. A dual carriageway itself is slightly different. I mean, granted, this is a 50, but all the cameras are front facing, so I'm a little bit naughty, but yeah. But yeah, guys, as I said, that's the stages of the exhaust. So now you all kind of know, as I mean, it is kind of like one of the most regularly asked questions. So that is it. That is your answer completely. So now you can get an exhaust like I did and drive your neighbours absolutely crazy, because I know I did all the time. I mean, even on tickover, it's still extremely bloody loud, because it's just such a deep tone from a single. It's just thumping. Whereas obviously, like things like 4 cylinders and that, when they're ticking over or low RPMs, they're quiet. They're really quiet. It's only up until kind of like 10,000 when they start screaming their heart out that they're actually loud. But yeah, that's the answer, guys. That's all the exhaust systems I've ever had, exactly how I've had them. I mean, occasionally I did heat wrap them, because for some reason I believe that it was better. Realistically not. It's probably why they ended up snapping, because it probably contained too much heat and weakened them, especially from hot to cold, hot to cold, hot to cold. It probably didn't help. So I quite possibly don't recommend doing it. Could be wrong, could be completely fine, but yeah. I'll leave it at that for this one, guys, because I'm just rabbling on, and I will catch you in the next one.